Stop eating turmeric with these 3 foods, hidden health risks you must know. Have you ever thought about how something as healthy as turmeric could actually become harmful depending on what you eat it with? Turmeric has been celebrated for centuries as a golden spice of life. It's praised for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even anti-aging properties. People add it to teas, curries, smoothies, and even take it in supplement form because of all its supposed healing benefits. But here's the surprising truth: turmeric doesn't always play well with other foods. In fact, there are certain combinations that can reduce its benefits, upset your stomach, or even lead to serious health problems if you're not careful. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 foods you should never mix with turmeric, why these combinations can backfire on your health, and how you can use turmeric the right way to actually get the full benefits. But before we dive in, let me ask you this: how often do you pay attention to the way foods interact with each other? Most people don't. We tend to think of health foods as good in every situation. But the truth is, even natural superfoods have rules. And if you break them, the results can be very different from what you expected. So stick with me until the very end, because not only will I reveal these 3 risky combinations, but I'll also share the smart ways you can still enjoy turmeric in your diet without worrying about hidden side effects. Before I name the first food, let's pause for a second and think about how our body works. When you eat something, it doesn't just sit there on its own. Every bite you take interacts with the enzymes in your gut, your liver, and your bloodstream. This is why certain combinations enhance nutrient absorption, while others completely block it. For example, you've probably heard that vitamin C helps your body absorb iron better. That's a positive interaction. On the flip side, drinking tea with iron-rich foods reduces iron absorption. That's a negative interaction. And turmeric, as powerful as it is, isn't immune to these effects. Depending on what you pair it with, turmeric can either be a powerful medicine or a wasted opportunity. In some cases, it can even become irritating or harmful. Now let's get into the first risky combination. Point 1. Turmeric and certain dairy products. Many people love the idea of golden milk, a warm blend of turmeric, milk, and spices. It sounds soothing and it's been promoted everywhere as a natural health tonic. But here's where things get tricky. Not all dairy works well with turmeric. The problem lies in how dairy proteins interact with curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. Curcumin is already very difficult for your body to absorb. It needs healthy fats and sometimes black pepper to unlock its full potential. When you add it to certain types of milk, especially cow's milk with high protein levels, those proteins can actually bind to curcumin. When this happens, your body struggles to use turmeric effectively. In other words, instead of supercharging your health, the benefits of turmeric get trapped and flushed out without doing much for you. Another issue is digestion. Some people find that combining turmeric with dairy can irritate the stomach, especially if they're lactose intolerant or sensitive to dairy proteins. Instead of getting an anti-inflammatory boost, you might end up with bloating, cramping, or discomfort. Now, does this mean you can never enjoy turmeric lattes again? Not exactly. But the key is choosing the right base. Plant-based milks like almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk tend to work much better. They provide the healthy fats turmeric needs for absorption without the binding effect of dairy proteins. If you love golden milk, just make that one simple switch, and you'll notice the difference. This brings us to an important lesson. Just because something is labeled as a health trend doesn't mean it's the best choice for your body. Think about how many people sip on turmeric lattes every morning, believing they're flooding their body with anti-inflammatory compounds. In reality, if they're using regular cow's milk, they're cutting those benefits in half without even realizing it. That's the danger of food myths. They sound good, but they don't always hold up in real science. Now let's move on to the second food that doesn't belong on the same plate as turmeric. Point 2. Turmeric and certain medications. This one is often overlooked, but it's very important. Turmeric may be natural, but it's also biologically active, which means it can interact with medications in ways that can either reduce their effectiveness or amplify their side effects. One of the biggest concerns is with blood-thinning medications. Turmeric itself has mild blood-thinning properties. When you combine it with prescription blood thinners, it can increase the risk of excessive bleeding or bruising. This is not something most people think about when they sprinkle turmeric on their food. Another issue is with diabetes medications. Turmeric may lower blood sugar levels, which sounds like a good thing. But if you're already taking medication for diabetes, combining the two can push your blood sugar dangerously low. And then there's the impact on stomach acid. Turmeric stimulates the production of bile, which helps with digestion. But if you're taking medications for acid reflux, such as proton pump inhibitors, turmeric can interfere with how those medications work. This is why it's so important to be cautious if you're on long-term medication. Turmeric isn't just a spice, it's a natural compound with real effects in your body. Mixing it with the wrong medicines could lead to outcomes you didn't expect. Here's a truth most people don't like to hear: just because something is natural doesn't mean it's always safe. Hemlock is natural. Poison ivy is natural. The point is, natural doesn't automatically equal harmless. Turmeric is safe and beneficial for most people, but when combined with medications, it becomes a different story. This is why it's always wise to check with your doctor if you're using turmeric supplements and you're also on prescription drugs. Now let's talk about the third risky food combination. Point 3. Turmeric and spicy or acidic foods. Turmeric already has a slightly bitter and pungent taste. When you mix it with foods that are heavily spiced or highly acidic, you can end up with a double hit on your digestive system. For some people, this combination can lead to heartburn, acid reflux, or stomach irritation. For example, think about adding turmeric to a dish that's already loaded with chili peppers, vinegar, or citrus juice. While that might sound flavorful, it can overwhelm your stomach lining, especially if you eat it regularly. The same goes for combining turmeric with very acidic drinks, like certain fruit juices. Instead of helping your digestion, turmeric in this context can cause discomfort and inflammation. The problem here isn't just about taste. It's about balance. Turmeric works best when it's part of a gentle, nourishing meal. Pairing it with too much acidity or spice tips the balance in the wrong direction. Your body ends up fighting irritation instead of absorbing the benefits. Isn't it fascinating that two healthy things can sometimes cancel each other out? Spicy chili peppers are good for metabolism. Citrus fruits are full of vitamin C. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. But put them all together in the wrong amounts, and you might feel worse instead of better. This is why context matters so much in nutrition. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat it. Now that we've covered the foods and combinations to avoid, let's flip the script for a moment. How do you make turmeric actually work for you? The answer lies in absorption. Remember, curcumin is hard for your body to absorb on its own. But when you pair turmeric with healthy fats, like olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado, your body can process it much better. Adding a pinch of black pepper also makes a huge difference because of a compound called piperine, which boosts curcumin absorption by up to 2000%. This means that instead of wasting turmeric's potential, you're unlocking it. And the best part? You don't need much. Even half a teaspoon of turmeric paired with the right foods can go a long way in supporting your health. Here's the beauty of all this. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet to get turmeric right. You don't need to give up your favorite meals or buy expensive supplements. All it takes are small tweaks. Choosing plant-based milk instead of dairy. Avoiding turmeric if you're on certain medications unless your doctor gives the green light. And being mindful of pairing it with overly spicy or acidic foods. These small changes are simple, but they can make the difference between turmeric being wasted and turmeric working like the superfood it's meant to be. So let's bring it all together. Turmeric is powerful, but it's not invincible. It doesn't belong with every food. The three main things to watch out for are dairy proteins, certain medications, and highly acidic or overly spicy foods. By avoiding these combinations, you're not just preventing potential health risks, you're ensuring that turmeric actually does what it's supposed to do in your body. And here's my final thought for you. Health isn't about chasing the latest trend or adding dozens of supplements to your routine. It's about being smart, intentional, and aware of how foods interact with your body. When you pay attention to those details, you unlock the real power of nutrition. So the next time you reach for turmeric, remember what we talked about today. Make the right choices, and you'll get all the healing benefits this golden spice has to offer. Thanks for watching Fitness Tips. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who loves turmeric. And don't forget to subscribe for more clear, science-backed health advice that helps you live your best life.